The Glock is the most basic pistol ever designed. It looks like two rectangles stuck together, it's not very unique looking, and it's one of the best pistols of the late 20th century, used from self-defense to law enforcement to special forces units. It was the first pistol from a company with zero experience in firearm design and was making things like knives, shovels, parts for grenades, and machine gun ammo belts, and now it has become a synonym for pistols in almost every form of media. So let's talk about it and how this happened. In 1963, Gaston Glock founded Glock in Deutschwagram, Austria, and initially started making things like curtain rods in his garage workshop with a total of 3 employees. Eventually, they would expand and start making military equipment for the Austrian military, making things like knives, parts for grenades, shovels, and ammo belts for machine guns in the 70s. Then in 1980, the Austrian Armed Forces put out a call to replace their Walther P38 pistols from World War II. Glock got wind of this and assembled a team of experts from military, police, and civilian sport shooting circles with the purpose of defining the most desirable characteristics in a combat pistol. Taking this knowledge over 3 months, the team at Glock would make their first pistol in 1982, the Glock 17. And already from the start, they weren't skipping on the details, featuring their safety action system made up of 3 different safeties. The now iconic trigger safety, an internal firing pin safety, another internal drop safety, all without having an external manual safety. All located in an easy to disassemble package that can be broken down into 4 main parts without extra tooling, with Glock being so confident to say you can do this within seconds. And that a qualified Glock armorer is able to disassemble the pistol fully in minutes. With the 17 in the name being disputed if it is a reference to how many rounds the magazine can hold or if it is the 17th patent filed by Glock. It's the patent. It's the patent. If it was the mag capacity, Glock's number scheme would actually make sense because the Glock 45 isn't a 45, it's a 9mm. The Glock 22 isn't a 22, it's a 40 Smith & Wesson. The Glock 40 isn't a 40 Smith & Wesson, it's a 10mm. The Glock 38 isn't in 380 or 38 Special, it's in 45 Gap or Glock Auto Pistol. Yes, Glock made a custom 45 caliber. Yes, nobody uses it. No, there is no Glock 7. Die Hard 2 lied to you. And for the gun weebs in the back, yes, someone turned it into an anime woman. This name system makes me believe that Gaston Glock had an undiagnosed concussion from that failed assassination attempt back in 1999. Let me know if you want a dedicated video about that. In early 1982, the Glock would enter testing by having to pass an exhausting and abusive series of trials, being a 15,000 round endurance test of 9mm NATO standard, followed by an inspection, followed by another round of testing of overpressured ammunition in competition against 8 other pistols. With the Glock 17 winning the trials, Friedrich de Kant, the former head of Austrian Armaments and Defense Technology Agency, stated that the Glock was clearly superior to other handguns in terms of performance, handling, charging capacity, and price. With Austria adopting the Glock under the designation of the P80 for both military and law enforcement in 1982. This trial sparked interest from other Western nations, with the United States taking interest in the pistol for a potential replacement to the 1911 in the Joint Service Small Arms Program and invited them to participate in the last round of testing known as the XM9 trials. Glock would deny this invitation because they would need to make extensive modifications to the Glock 17 to meet DoD demands in way too short of a time span. And if you want to hear more about the shit show that was the Joint Service Small Arms Program and the XM9 trials, go check out the full-length video about the M9 on my channel. So in 1983, Norway and Sweden would have a joint trial from 83 to 85, with Norway adopting the Glock as the P80 in 1985. I wonder where they came up with that original name from. And Sweden adopting it as the P88 in 1988. This test showed that the Glock can pass NATO standards, with it becoming a NATO standard classified sidearm, granting it a NATO stock number, becoming an official piece of equipment. With it estimated by 1992 that Glock had sold over 350,000 handguns, with roughly 250,000 of those in the United States alone. Jumping ahead to 2013, the British Armed Forces started the R9 GSP trials to replace their older Browning high powers due to concerns about the weight and the high power's external safety, with the Glock 17 Gen 4 competing against 19 other pistols and emerging victorious once again. Step forward again to 2020 and the French Armed Forces want to replace their Mac 50 pistols and some of their PAMAS G1 pistols, and the Glock 17 Gen 5 won, meaning that the Glock won again. All of that was just the Glock 17. There are still 30 other Glock models out there across 7 generations if you consider the Gen V and the Gen 6 to be different generations, with a handful of them receiving training models as well, with about 66 nations using at least one version of the Glock in either a military or law enforcement capacity. The Glock has proven to be a reliable pistol, favored for self-defense, law enforcement, and competition shooting, with this popularity further brought on by how common it's seen in media. With one of its first appearances being Season 3 of Miami Vice all the way back in 1987, it was practically built for the silver screen, with it only going up from here. The 90s proved popular for the Glock, with it being frequently name-dropped in both hip-hop and rap scenes by artists like Tupac, 50 Cent, and Wu-Tang Clan. The Glock would continue its hot streak into the 2000s, where it became a frequent sight in FPS games, commonly seen as a starter pistol in almost every modern shooter. With it being the starter pistol for the T side in the Counter-Strike series, the Glock is far from being retired. Outside of media, the Glock is known for its Glock perfection, to remind you that there is a model made for everyone, with most parts on a Glock being interchangeable with other models, with the added bonus of one of the biggest aftermarket parts right behind the AR-15, with companies like Ruger and Springfield making their own Glock clones to try and get a piece of the action. It's become so popular to the point that the Glock has become a catch-all term referring to a pistol. Think about it, how many times have you ever made a joke like, "pass the Glock"? When have you ever said the name of another pistol or brand? With there being a model or a build for anyone, it truly is a pistol for the people that they somehow got right on the first try with no prior experience with firearms, that has no extra fluff and does exactly what it needs to do. And that was the history of the Glock. Mostly the Glock 17. This is mostly just a video about the Glock 17, but it was still the history of the Glock. And I have some quick announcements actually. First off, a big thank you for over 200 subscribers. It genuinely means a lot to me, to the point beyond words, to where 200 people will want to consistently put up with me and my bullshit. A second thank you for all the recent support on the M14 video. It's at like 1.5k views right now. Having a video do that well feels genuinely insane. It's crazy to think that I managed to actually pull that off right now with how my current skill set is. A quick apologies for not uploading last week. Shorts have kind of killed any creative momentum that I've had to make any form of content. So for the foreseeable future, I don't think I'll be making shorts. I know they're really important to growing and outreach and all that, but I just don't enjoy making shorts because they feel so, what's the word I'm looking for here? They feel just so low effort for how much you can get out of them, and it's to the point where I just don't enjoy making them. So it probably also means I won't have anything going up on TikTok. If you're here from TikTok, I'm sorry about that. But otherwise, besides that, I do plan on expanding and making kind of more gaming content. Not quite like Ahoy, who some people compare me to. He is a big inspiration to me, though, but I don't think I'm going to quite make like full-length essay videos like he does. I kind of want to do some more funny, entertaining things about like a single game or something like that. So I plan on making that my next video, and if people want to see the whole thing about Gaston Glock's failed assassination, that'll probably be the video after. But I want to use these gaming videos to try and give me a buffer so that I have more time to research for guns and all that, and also expand my editing skills properly by giving more content that I can both work on, and also give me like more time in between when I need to upload to actually properly work on my editing skills and all that. So otherwise, I don't think I have anything else to say other than, once again, thank you for all the recent support. It genuinely means a lot to me. If you're still watching by now, here's a gold star and a cookie. You've earned it, champ. And I don't have anything else to say Other than, obviously, again, thank you for all the support. And to end this all off, but hey, I'm H, consider subscribing, and thank you once again.